Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Lou Walters at the Source Wellness Center. COVID-19 cases continue to rise, and the vaccine doesn't look like it'll be available until at least 2021. So in the meantime, there are things you can do to improve your overall health, to reduce the risk of complications should you get sick, and improve your immune system so you maybe don't get sick in the first place. Last video, I talked about reducing your stress and your fear and anxiety to reduce your cortisol levels, and 4 things you could do to manage your cortisol levels. This video, I'm going to focus on food. So the food you eat can increase inflammation or it can decrease inflammation. Why we care about inflammation, there's several reasons. One, the receptors on the cells that the coronavirus binds to is called ACE2 receptors. And when we have systemic inflammation, when we're chronically inflamed from the food that we're eating, we actually have more of those receptors on our cells. What that means is it's easier for the virus to infect our cells if we're inflamed from the foods that we're eating. So we want to decrease that inflammation. Another reason why we care about inflammation is the cells that tell our immune system to stand down, that the fight is over, are called Treg cells. And the health of our GI tract is going to affect our Treg cells. So anywhere from 55 to 80% of your immune system lines your digestive tract. So if you're eating a lot of irritating or inflammatory foods, more likely going to have an immune imbalance in your GI tract, which translates to the rest of your body. Treg cells. So this ties into the cytokine storm that we were hearing so much about early on when COVID-19 was infecting people in the United States. So it's still happening, although we're not hearing about it as much in the news. And what it is the immune system, the cells send out signals called cytokines to let the immune system know it needs to attack, that there's an invader. And then we get a massive response to those cytokines. Now what should happen is after a few days of this, the Treg cells tell the immune system that to stand down, to stop destroying the tissue. Think of soldiers. If they're engaging in the enemy and then the commanding officer tells them, at a certain point to cease fire, to stop, that we've done our job, that's what the Treg cells do. And if we don't have enough Treg cells, we get into this just cycle that we're damaging tissue and the immune system doesn't stand down. So we end up getting lots of tissue damage. Now, the ACE2 receptors are most commonly expressed in the lungs, the heart, the brain, and the GI tract. So those are the areas that we're seeing with people with cytokine storm, lots of permanent damage to that tissue. And we want to reduce that as much as we can, and we can do that through food. Okay, so what foods are inflammatory? Sugars we'll keep it real simple. Sugars are inflammatory, whether it's pure table sugar or in juices or in processed things that have lots of sugar. Processed foods in general tend to be inflammatory, and fried foods. So if you can cut those things all the way out or just significantly reduce them, you'll be in great shape. And then what is going to be anti-inflammatory? What can you add that's going to decrease inflammation and help improve your health and your immune system? So number one, be vegetables. Eat lots of vegetables. I've never told anybody they eat too many vegetables. And when you think back to when we were first going into possible shutdown and toilet paper was not available and the shelves were going bare, it wasn't the vegetables that people were hoarding. It was the ramen noodles and the chips and the soda, basically all the food that was more likely going to make people sick. So you want to start increasing the amount of vegetables that you're eating. You can add in a little bit of fresh fruit and nuts, seeds, healthy fats, lean meats. All of these are going to help reduce your inflammation. Wild-caught fish is great in as far as anti-inflammatory. It's high in what's called omega-3 essential fatty acids, and that helps reduce inflammation. You can also, if you grind flax seeds or pumpkin seeds, they have omega-3s in them as well. Grass-fed meat has omega-3s in it in addition to the flax and to the fish. Water. So you want to decrease the amount of sugary drinks you're drinking, and instead it would be better that you drank water. If you don't like the taste of water, you can squeeze in some fresh lemon or lime or soak it in rosemary or cucumber to give it some flavor, but water would be much better for you. Certain nutrients you want to make sure you're getting, zinc and vitamin C. So foods that are high in zinc would be seeds. And seeds are designed to pass through your digestive tract, so I would recommend that you grind them up in a coffee grinder or a spice grinder. So that way you can actually absorb the minerals and the essential fatty acids in them. And liver and just meat in general has lots of zinc in it. Vitamin C, we tend to think of oranges and orange juice. Now orange juice does have a lot of vitamin C in it, can't take away from that, but it also has a lot of sugar in it, and that's going to be inflammatory, so we want to avoid the orange juice. Now oranges have a great marketing team behind them. We tend to think of oranges right away when we think of vitamin C, but there's other foods actually that have more vitamin C than oranges. Peppers, and if you don't like peppers themselves, you can add things like paprika or cayenne seasoning to it. All that is going to have vitamin C in it as well. Broccoli. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, they also have more vitamin C than oranges. So including those in your diet is going to improve your overall health as well as improve your immune system. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please click subscribe and there'll be for future videos. Again, I'm Dr. Lou Walters at the Source Wellness Center. Stay healthy and take care of each other.